Eno Extreme Media UJ. Subscribe for all updates.
I, Wangadya Mariam Mutonyi, affirm that the evidence I shall give touching the matter before this committee shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
There are two issues. We invite witnesses in various capacities. As to whether she is chair or not, it is a substantive issue of discussion today because it forms a substantive aspect of the Auditor General's report as well on how the Human Rights Commission is constituted and operates. We don't want to address it under the aspects of warrant. For this particular aspect of warrant, as to whether she is chair or not, and any other person so summoned must respect summons regardless of which position you hold. So before I offer guidance after the various concerns of members, it is procedurally right that the applicant in this case, Honorable Mariam Wangadya, I don't know if this is the title, also have a right of reply to respond to the same before we can rule on the matter. Respond only in respect of your inability to attend the arrest warrant and why you think your prayer should be sustained.
Most obliged, Mr. Chairman, may it please members of the committee, I apologize for my inability to appear yesterday, and now that I'm here, whatever was contained in my letter, I will say it verbally here. So in that respect, I will withdraw my letter to you, Chairman.
So colleagues, in the circumstances that Ms. Wangadya has opted to both apologize and also withdraw her letter, and aware of the several concerns as raised by colleagues, and also cognizant of the concerns of Honorable Seungu, I'll guide and rule as this. Number one, we shall vacate the arrest warrant on one condition, that the witness before us testifies and appears on record only on oath. I saw guide. So clerk administer the oath to Ms. Mariam before you proceed. Yeah, the oath. Let her submission to the committee be on oath, given the circumstance and background that led us to opt for an arrest warrant.
Honorable Chair, in line with your guidance, we shall proceed under Rule 222 of the Rules of Procedure of Parliament in examining the witness on oath. And I'll read. 1. A committee shall have power to cause a witness to be examined on oath, and the clerk to the committee shall have authority to administer it. 2. A witness may, instead of taking the oath, make a solemn affirmation. And 3. The oath affirmation under this rule shall be in the form prescribed under Appendix 1 to these rules. And that's the form that we shall use. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Thank you.
I, Wangadya Mariam Mutonyi, affirm that the evidence I shall give touching the matter before this committee shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Thank you. So, colleagues, now, after clearing that from our way, I want to invite you back for the detailed engagement. Madam Wangadya, before we proceed, I've heard and captured the concern by members. I heard Honorable Seungu, and he has also been captured in our previous meetings in your absence. What saturates and what has been saturating in the media as to an alleged resignation. Now that you are here, we want to appreciate the capacity under which you appear, either as a former or the current. Please guide us and assist us to understand whether you resigned, and if you resigned, whether the resignation was accepted, and so that you can now substantiate your formal capacity in terms of Uganda Human Rights Commission. Then we know how to proceed.
Most obliged.
Pull it closer. I don't, you need to be on the record.
Is that better, Chairman? Okay. Mr. Chairman, it is true I wrote a letter of resignation to His Excellency the President, and my resignation was rejected. As I conclude, the Honorable Learned Attorney General of this country addressed Parliament, and in his address, he very clearly said that my resignation had not been accepted and that I remain the substantive chairperson of the Uganda Human Rights Commission. And that is my status, Chairman.
So you captured the rejection from the statement of the Attorney General, or you received a formal response from the appointing authority?
The response I received from the appointing authority was through a phone call. It was not in writing. Sometimes His Excellency the President communicates through phone calls, and I was instructed, if I had left office, to return to office immediately. And I complied with the directive of the Fountain of Honor.
And the direction by the head of state was in tandem with what the Attorney General submitted?
Yes, in fact, the Attorney General spoke on behalf of His Excellency the President. He did not speak just on his own behalf. The words he spoke were the words of His Excellency the President. He was instructed to inform the country through Parliament that my resignation had not been accepted. And I respect the Fountain of Honor, so I am in office.
And you appear as the chairperson?
I appear as the chairperson, not former chairperson of the commission.
Okay.
Can I be allowed to add, Mr.
Yes.
Chairman, that
Yes.
since I wrote that letter, or rather since it became public, I have been treated like resignation is a taboo, like it is something negative, or it is something to be ashamed about. How I wish this country had a culture of people resigning from high positions like the one I hold, for whatever reason. And Mr. Chairman, I have ever resigned from the Uganda Human Rights Commission. In 2013, I was a member of the Uganda Human Rights Commission, and I resigned. And at that time, my resignation was accepted. So, this time, my resignation was not accepted. I should think that resignation is something positive. And where any officer at whatever level is under pressure and they feel they can no longer continue, I think that should be welcomed instead of being vilified, Mr. Chairman. I thank you.
Before I allow the several hands, just from your own submission, ordinarily any work or assignment involves tasks. Is that what you call pressure? Because your duties are outlined within the law. Is that what you call pressure or otherwise?
Mr. Chairman, just allow me to restate my status as I appear before you this morning. I am the chairperson of the Uganda Human Rights Commission. Yes. The reasons for my attempt to resign were not disclosed in the letter, but they have been verbally disclosed to His Excellency the President, and I have since written to him a brief about the status not just of myself, but of the Commission. And he told me to remain in office. And my resignation having been rejected, and the Attorney General of Uganda having addressed the country and assured everyone that Wangadya Mariam is the, to use his words, substantive chairperson of the Commission. I remain the substantive chairperson of the Commission, so I'm here in my full capacity as chairperson of the Uganda Human Rights Commission.
Now, we appreciate the response, but is now the working environment normal, or you are forced to hold on to office? We don't need to burden you when you are under. Is it just because you are not a soldier that you are only putting in place and in practice instructions? You have statutory and legal obligation. Has the work environment improved?
In other words, Madam Chair, person, the things that had forced you to write the letter, and now you seem to have been forced to come back to office.
Yeah. Either has the work environment improved, or what have you done to ensure that you execute your duties as the chairperson, having remained in office? First, respond to that, then I open up here. Hey, you switch on.
If I understood the question well, I'm not in office under duress.
Yes.
I was guided by the appointing authority to remain in office. And I'm in office willingly and with full commitment to execute my duties as the chairperson of the Commission.
Okay, let me hear from this side. Yes, Honorable Mpindi.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I want to welcome the clarity from Madam Wangadya, but I want to point out one point where she said that the public, why doesn't the public appreciate designation by serving officers? I want to say, or to inform her, that why the public was concerned specifically for her resignation is the procedure she followed to resign. The chairperson of Human Rights Commission, who knows the appointing authority, it would be proper for her to involve him regarding the issues that are surrounding the commission that she chairs. But for her to call a press conference and also question the authority of the appointing authority of appointing people who have failed in politics, of appointing people who are HIV, AIDS, that they are appointed just to get money for ARV. It wasn't good for a person of her caliber. And also, more especially, the chairperson of the Uganda Human Rights Commission, one of her mandates is to protect the human rights of all Ugandans, including Ugandans with HIV. So if she begins discriminating them, discriminating the politician, discriminating other Ugandans, I think that is the reason why the public is concerned about her resignation. Not because she has resigned, many have resigned.
Thank you. Honorable Sewungu.
Yeah, on record, I'm the one on the floor of Parliament who raised the procedural matter on the status of Uganda Human Rights Commission. And on that day, the answer will bear me out. The Prime Minister, I think Christmas Chionga, confirmed reporting back. And the Attorney General was asked to give a legal opinion. There is nothing, I want to state it here before this committee, there is nothing in Parliament, as alleged by Madam Mariam Wangadya, that there is a verbal communication. You see, there is the intention to resign and tendering in resignation. Madam Wangadya tendered in her resignation. And we must handle this matter carefully. We can interface with her under the other auspice you gave of formal word. But the truth of the matter, there is nowhere the resignation was rescinded in writing. If you are appointed in writing and you tender in your resignation in writing, there must be another writing rescinding the resignation. So if we are moving as a committee by going by what our witness is giving, that there is a verbal communication, this is going again to push you as a committee to interface with our first citizen, the president, because the committees meet him, by the way, to dispel of this matter. But as we talk now, let us know it, Mr. Chairman, and you can make a ruling on that, that the answer given to us with no evidence attached, but verbal, cannot arise from Madam Mariam Wangadya. We are not her enemies, by the way.
Clarification.
And as she has stated, that she wonders why Ugandans don't want to resign. Who asked you to resign? It is not us. The moment you tendered in, we enjoyed the music we are playing on the floor.
Thank you. Honorable Bruce.
Clarification, Chair. Thank you,
Yes.
Chair. I think we need to clarify the falsehood that the Honorable Sewungu is putting public. Because the resignation we saw was not an instant resignation, even if it had been accepted. It was an intention stating a time which hasn't reached up to now, even if it had been accepted. So even if the resignation had been accepted, Mr. Chairman, she would still be legal in office because she intended to resign at a future date. So Chair, the clarification I want us to have is that we are dealing with the chairperson of the Human Rights Commission. I was in Parliament when the Honorable Sewungu raised this matter. The Attorney General did clarify, but the Prime Minister promised to bring a comprehensive report on the affairs of the Human Rights Commission. The matter of a substantive chairperson was dispelled instantly by the Attorney General. What is in question is the status of the commission that the Prime Minister promised to bring to the floor.
Thank you, Honorable Batua.
Thank you, Honorable Chair and colleagues. First and foremost, I think we are not seated here to force Madam Mariam Wangadya to resign, but we are seeking clarification around that matter. And we've gone on to put her on oath. So whatever she has said, we have to take it as the gospel truth, not to question it because it has repercussion. However, I should also state clearly that how I understand it, whatever the Attorney General stated is not binding on us. We are Parliament of Uganda. The doctrine of separation of powers keeps his opinion binding in the executive. But when it comes to us, we have to look deep into this matter and report. So now that we have an opportunity that she's seated there, I think it's better to get her view outside what the Attorney General said or his opinion. Let's just get her view and report on that view. Let's ask her again whether she has changed position. Madam Mariam Wangadya, maybe let me first tone down. Madam Mariam Wangadya, I don't know that I should address you as justice, because the kind of work you do, of course, is close related to what judicial officers do. So the organization you're managing, to us, is an extremely sensitive organization. And the way that law was crafted, everything runs around you. You should chair the meetings. You should head the tribunals. You investigate violence. You have a lot of sensitive information regarding that matter. So any disruption on your position really serves a disservice to countless Ugandans who have faced violence. It's you to inspect those places where they detain Ugandans. So we don't want to see disruption in your position. As a person, outside what the president informed you on phone that you should stay in office, as a person, do you still want to serve, or you're tired of serving? Regardless the conversation
Thank you. Let me first guide. Because we cannot interrogate a document that hasn't been tendered in.
Trending industrial machine.
An intention or a resignation. Would you be having a copy? Because I don't want to entertain a discussion where the text is being referred to when actually we don't have a copy. Probably what was saturated on the media was different from yours. Can you address your mind on that? I don't want to interrogate a document based on words. You have a copy of the same?
Chairman, maybe what the committee is still interrogating is actually my status, and which I have clarified.
No, I think the best way to clarify is that there is a resignation or intention to resign. A colleague is saying it was to take some months. Another one is saying it was with immediate effect. Before we can rule as to whether we need to interrogate it further, would you be having a copy so that we understand which document is being referred to, the contents, to avoid assumptions?
Chairman, if I had been asked to bring a copy here, I would have done so. But to answer your question directly, I don't have a copy.
Now, but you have it in office?
To who I addressed my letter, I copied it to the Honorable Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs.
How much time do you need just to avail our secretariat with a copy of the same?
Hours, perhaps.
Okay, in 24 hours, submit a copy to our secretariat of the resignation. Number two, I think it is prudent. You're on record saying that the appointing authority called you to reinstate you. Have you followed up to secure any write-up? Any write-up? Or he said a call is enough?
Mr. Chairman, I'm not very comfortable appearing like I'm exchanging.
Withdraw your resignation, just writing back to withdraw.
Most obliged, Mr. Chairman. I'm going to do that.
When?
Maybe today.
Please avail a committee the committee with
Mr.
such a... Yes?
Mr. Chairman.
Honorable Naki?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, for me, I think we are so much in two-side shows. She has confirmed she's still in office. She wrote to resign, but the appointing authority did not accept her resignation. If he had accepted, he would have written. The fact that he has not written, it means he has taken no action. For now, the resignation has not taken effect. So let's proceed on substantive matters of the audit report.
And in support, Mr. Chairman, you see, our report will generate a good answer about what she's saying. It is in her own words that she said she resigned. Now she's fearing exchanging words with you where you have not exchanged. But I would pray that this committee takes recognition of what is within the status of Human Rights Commission or by the chair. Article 2522 is expressed on resignation. You either give intention to resign or not solve resignation. Hers is not solve resignation, and she has accepted. So you can rule, Mr. Chairman. We can continue. I know Madam Mariam Wangadya, we know what is happening, and we pray for you. But the committee can take a stand decision, and as we generate our report, we shall have generated all the information, because the answer is with us. And you have a department here already, said one of your officers.
Thank you.
That will be received.
Thank you. To avoid ambiguity, Madam Mariam, I just wish to guide that if your resignation was rejected, you must have the courtesy of writing back to withdraw and avail us a copy.
Most obliged, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, let's proceed now. Our colleagues, we are before us is Auditor General's report for the year ended 2025. Yes, Honorable Mpindi.
Mr. Chair, there is a question, I don't know who asked it, but I thought it is important for us to dispose it off before we go in the audit report.
Which question?
The issue of harmony in executing the work of the commission.
Maybe as we interrogate the queries, we shall get explanations. And because of your issue, let's start with the issue. Let me first usher in the accounting officer. Give us your opening statements and a recap of your response before they detail the response. As the accounting officer, you would appreciate that the Uganda Human Rights Commission has a principal duty in relation to human rights in this country. I recollect that you said you are new in office. Is the former accounting officer present? Please be on the record.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Like I stated the first time we appeared, I assumed this role on the 17th of April this year. The Auditor General's report under discussion is for a financial year where there was the former accounting officer. I'm happy you also recall that, Honorable Chair. But we are here. When you go into an office, you inherit assets and liabilities. We are here to explain what we can. If it pleases the committee, if there are any specific issues that may require her attention, it will be the role of the committee Honorable Chair and the Parliament to invite her, since she is no longer in our jurisdiction. I thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Of course, any arising issue that required the former accounting officer may require us to seek or compel her presence. Otherwise, we sent invitation. I'm only surprised that that accounting officer is not present, please remind her that under the law, when you are an accounting officer or a political head or in charge of a vote under which any anomaly so arise, it doesn't matter whether you are former or current, you can be summoned to answer to the vote and to any such queries. Now, to factor in the concern of Honorable Mpindi, I think in our previous interface, a lot of revelation from these commissioners who were present related to tribunals. And being that it's an audit query as well, we may start now with number 3 of the audit report, where we have concerning revelation. Of course, when you look at, for example, on complaints management, the Auditor General observed that 36% of the total complaints were investigated. That means out of 100, only 36 complaints were investigated by Uganda Human Rights Commission. And some investigations are now for more than 2 years. The Auditor General observes that yet the timeline for handling such complaints, according to the Complaint Handling Manual 2015, require that all such complaints must be investigated and completed in 8 months.